There we go. All right. Okay. So welcome everybody along to the 5-day challenge, the LinkedIn 5-day challenge, the second time that we've ever run this challenge. It was immensely successful last time. So I'm looking forward to sharing some great tactics with you and be able to give you some actionable stuff each day to be able to build out your LinkedIn pipeline. I will, as you can see, be recording these sessions. We will be posting them so you can be able to hit them up on the replay if you miss one. But being here on the live session is so important because there's Q&A every single day. There's the ability to ask questions as we go along, and I'm going to give you a task each day to do. So I know when I try and watch something on catch up, I'm not as quick or fast to be able to action something as if I'm seeing it live and I go take it and I go do that little section after the session. So that's what we want to be able to do. So let me just share screens then and we'll just go through how this week is going to look. So this is the 5-day challenge. And let me just do the old share screens. Perfect. Good stuff. And as we go, I just need to make sure that I just let people in as they come. Good stuff. Cool. Okay, so welcome to the 5-day LinkedIn challenge. Thanks for letting us know where we're coming from. Fantastic locations that people are sharing. Welcome along to the challenge. So this is how the kind of agenda for the week's going to start. So do try and block out some of these sessions into your diary. So the challenge is 9 a.m. each day. And what I'm going to try and do is just have it for about half an hour each day, giving you another half an hour in this sort of hour session to be able to implement the actual activities, right? Actually do the stuff as well as learn the stuff. Next week, I'm going to be doing a bonus Q&A session on Tuesday, just so people can kind of go, okay, well, I've done the things last week. It's looking good. I've got a couple of questions. So it gives you a nice opportunity to be able to actually kind of follow on the learning next week. On Wednesday and on Friday, what tends to happen on this challenge is that people go, okay, this looks really great. Also, Richard, I'm kind of interested in what you do with the $1 Million Sprint. So we just put on a couple of extra sessions for people that are interested. So on Wednesday at 12:30, we'll be doing a special session there, which is a full demo of what my business does. So if you're interested, and we'll be obviously talking about it further along the line, that's a great session to be able to jump onto. And also on Friday, after the main session on Friday, I'll also be doing a further demo of what $1 Million Sprint's about as well. So just for complete transparency, those two sessions are there if you find them appropriate for you. Okay, good stuff. So today, we're going to be looking at this. So one, we're going to be believing that it can be done, this lead generation stuff from LinkedIn. And we're going to show you that. We're going to give you a demo of the entire system. So kind of overarching, what is the thing that we're going to be built together. Then we're going to look at your target audience today and just make sure that we've got the right target demographic for you to be going after to be able to win these clients. And then the action points from today is we're going to edit that header on your LinkedIn profile and a few other key bits just to be able to target that demographic. And then we're going to write the outreach email. It's not an email, it's an outreach message that we use to be able to generate inquiries. And it's got a formula and a way of being able to do that that will help you to be able to get more success from outreaching to people on LinkedIn. So that's what the actions are going to be for today. And we just want you to be able to write those and get them ready, because then we'll actually start the outreach tomorrow. Cool. Okay. Excited to have you guys all here. Cool. Feeling good? Give us some thumbs up if we're feeling good. All right. You got some thumbs up. Perfect. Okay. So you remember the $1 Million Hour. We talk about the $1 Million Hour quite a lot. I always say to everybody, they should be working on their lead generation an hour a day. And if they can do that, then they'll be able to build a sustained model for generating inquiries, right? So this is what we want to help you to utilize this hour to be able to generate these inquiries. So well done for leaning into it. So believe it can be done. Here's just a couple of examples from the beginning of this month where we're sending out our outreach messages, and these are leads that are coming back in saying, yes, great, give me some dates, I'll jump into that. And then this person here, sure, why not? Let's jump in and have a call. So this is the messaging that we're using, and it's still current, and we're still generating inquiries from it. In fact, these are new clients that are won. The last few new clients have won, and out the last 6 there, you can see that LinkedIn is the lead source of 50% of the sales that we've actually made, the actual sales through sessions like this. This was the last time that we ran this campaign, and these are people that are use the model that we're going to show you. And you can see here, John Daniels here had 4 positive replies within the actual challenge week. You got Jan here that's got 6 positive replies within the actual challenge week. Karen, who was skeptical at the start, actually has now managed to be able to get herself 4 different calls within the challenge week. And then Jay got a call there as well. So these are people like yourselves that were on this challenge, that implemented this, that got actual positive replies and got sales meetings booked within this week. So lean into it, gang, lean into it. So here's the funnel that we're going to be creating over the course of this week. What you'll see here on the left-hand side is that you'll see here at the top, we're going to prime our LinkedIn profiles. So you'll be able to make sure that you've got a LinkedIn profile that people want to connect with, and actually that's going to help you to be able to break through the noise that is LinkedIn. When you're talking to your clients. We're then going to be putting a messenger campaign out to be able to reach out and target those people that you want to, we're going to talk about target audience today. We'll put that out, and we're going to learn this nudge campaign, which is to be able to nudge people to be able to get them to take that further action. They're going to be pushing them into a calendar booking appointment. Now, that may be not unusual. We've all kind of used Calendly or these other booking appointments, but you'll see here that we're going to be talking about different bits of bonus value to be able to precede your meeting with your potential clients as well. So actually, we're going to look at that. What have you got for bonus material? How do you actually put that into place? How do you use things like SMS reminders to make sure you get a bigger show up rate, to things like strategy sessions? What I mean by a strategy session, I mean some sort of sales appointment, some sort of way of pitching your product or service to people, right? So that's what we're talking about, strategy session. And then once you get them into strategy session, then what do you actually send to them afterwards? You do your sales pitch, but obviously we want them to buy your product. So what are you doing to be able to help them to make that buying decision after you pitch to them? So things like recap emails, PDFs, landing pages, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about the use of the decision call. So strategy session, great, but then how do you just get them across the line? Decision call, and then sign contracts, and then you're going to win, right? So the idea here is to generate the inquiries on LinkedIn, to warm them up through the sales process, to be able to close them right at the end into your signed contract, or however you close deals. So this is the entire end-to-end process we've been talking about. Today, we're going to be covering off these 2 pieces. So we're going to be covering off your LinkedIn profile, and we'll be covering off your messenger campaign. Okay, so we're going to get the message actually written. Lovely. Okay, so first of all, if we don't know who we're targeting, none of this works. And if we try and be everything to everyone, we're nothing to no one. So let's be something to someone, okay? And on LinkedIn, it's so important to be able to do that. Why? Well, you need to be able to do these searches, right? So you can see here at the top, I've got coaches plus UK plus speaker, and you can see the opportunity is 197,000 people in results. Now, let me just actually show this to you live. So we can do it here. Oh, there you all are. Hey. Okay, so let me just show you this live. So if you want to be able to do a search on LinkedIn, this is one of the things that most people kind of get, but by putting a bit of a chain together to be able to actually use these pluses and minuses to be able to find a target demographic, we can start to see how big your audience are. So if I just show you that, so coach, I said plus speaker plus UK, right? So it's a bit of a chain. So I want people that are coaches that are also speakers in the UK. So that'd be a good target demographic for me. You might be trying to target someone that is a manager plus IT plus London, because if you're trying to target people in charge of IT in London, right? Or you might be trying to find yoga plus instructor plus Surrey, if you're trying to target that type of audience, right? So I want you to start thinking about what your search demographic would be. And you can see now why it's important to really think about the niche that you want to go after, because if you're trying to go after everyone, there isn't a everyone kind of search. So it's important to really start to think about that and think about what your search would be, right? So first of all, you get these top 3 results like this. And if you just click on see all people results, and you can see here 58,000 results, that would be the current market for coach plus speaker plus UK. Awesome, right? So that is my potential opportunity there. Then what I want to be able to do is work out, well, actually, how many of them am I currently connected with? Okay, so let me show results. And 333 of those people I'm actually currently connected with. Now, this is really interesting because it means that my opportunity is 5,000 odd, yet I'm only connected to 300 odd. And so that creates a big potential opportunity of people to be able to connect with and actually grow my network into. And so there's lots of work to be done there. But also at the same time, there's 333 people that I want to actually now move forward with my communication. And so I've got 333 opportunities to be able to see if they want to have a meeting with me. And so hence the campaign is built, right? The kind of environment for the campaign is built. So what would your search criteria be? Who would you search? Why don't we chuck that into the chat? If you can think about what your actual search terms would be, maybe try out a few searches right now on LinkedIn and just see what you're seeing when you're searching this, right? The pluses in there are important because it's allowing you to be able to go, I want to have this and that together to be able to create my search criteria. Who wants to share what their search criteria is? Who wants to share? Who's targeting someone and wants to share what their search is? Okay. Hey, so yes, go for it. Where are you? Or you've hand up. Go on.
Good morning, Richard.
Good morning. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. Okay, mine is a little bit complicated. It is female professionals, but I think we can't go for gender in LinkedIn.
No.
So it will be, I can't decide, either managers or entrepreneurs or CEOs who have burnout in the UK. So either managers, entrepreneurs or CEOs, UK.
Fantastic. Okay, so what you would do is all of those could be right. Okay, so obviously if you're looking to be able to target people, now if you're looking for small business owners, usually you would use the word founder because that tends to be what small business owners use. If you're using CEO, that tends to be for larger businesses. And so you've got to try and really think about that target demographic. Now we're using the free version of LinkedIn here. Now you do have Sales Navigator where you can do different search criteria. You can drop down and look at how big the team size is, for example. You can look at industry sector a little bit more targeted, but for the purpose of this 5-day challenge, I always like to show the free tools because we can all kind of get our heads around it and use it. So where you're looking at burnout wouldn't be a thing that you could actually then search for, but you would probably just have to mark it into an industry sector that you would think is maybe quite highly stressful, right? So if you might say or might think that maybe financial services could be quite stressful, you could go CEO plus financial services. There's lots of, and then you say, well, where is there lots of financial services companies? Well, you might go London. Right, so CEO plus financial services plus London, and so that would be your target demographic for this campaign, and so therefore you could start to see how many results you've got. Right, so that could be a good place to start. Make sense? So you can see a few people in here, like Kat, for example, accountant plus founder plus coach plus UK. Nice search, about 1,500 results. So you can see Kat's got a really nice lengthy search there that gave her 1,500 people to be able to go and target. And so now getting into those 1,500 people interesting. Now, what I'd like to see, so in Kat's examples there, I'd like to get her to now do that search where we've looked at this first degree thing. right? So instead of seeing, show results, this is how many people, 5,800. Now what I want you to do is to look at how many you're connected with. 333 in my instance. How many are you connected with? And the same question goes out to everybody else that's testing it. How many are you connecting with? And that's going to tell you the story of, am I connected with my target audience? If I'm not, then that's probably why I haven't got such success out of LinkedIn as I'd like to, because I'm not hanging out with my target market enough. Make sense? Cool. Okay. So we want that low hanging fruit.
So important. Question, Richard.
Go for it, Kevin.
Yeah, my question is connections versus following. And when does our audience see our stuff that we're writing in LinkedIn? Is it when they're following us? Do you recommend we follow and then attempt to connect? What's going on? It used to be just connections. Now there's a lot of follow going on.
So great question. So it's around creators and creator mode, essentially, on LinkedIn. So creator mode is a function for you to be able to have those sort of hashtags at the top of your profile to say what your subjects are, and also for you to be able to use a function such as LinkedIn Live. Now you can actually connect with someone as well as follow them. You just have to go into their profile and use a drop down and use the connect button, as opposed to, so let me just try and find an example here. If we go do a quick search. Now it really shouldn't put, let's see how many people, hang on, these people I'm already connected with. Let's go on here, go second and third degree, get rid of those. And when you go and look at a search criteria here, you can see here, look, follow, right? So these people have their profiles turned into creator mode. You can see here that they got talks about, and they got their hashtags on there. So that means they are in creator mode. So I could click follow and I could just follow Hayley. But actually, we don't want to do that when we're trying to connect with them, because we want them to be able to see our stuff. If you're just following them, they won't see your stuff, right, Kevin? So you want to go onto their profile. And if you were trying to connect, you press more, and you can see here, you've got the connect button there. And you press connect, and then you can add a note and connect with them. Cool. So we're going to do connect. We're going to work upon the connection piece tomorrow, but just as a quick example, that's the reason why you've got that there. Cool. Let's keep on loop. Let's loop back to headline. So what we want to do now we know who our audience is and how we're going to target them. We now need to think about, well, actually, we want to put together some connections into this audience. And to do that, we need to make sure that we've got, oh, hang on, two seconds, guys. Sorry. No. My son, bless him, half term. So with this in mind, we've got the, we want to go and use our campaigns to be able to get into that audience, and so therefore we want to prime our profile for it. And the way we're going to do that is by working upon our headlines for our audience, right? So let me just work through this. Okay, so when your headlines show up, this is, say, connections that people are sending out to, right? So Kevin, when you're trying to connect with people and you're trying to connect, and we want to build up the amount of people that we're connected with, you're going to be sending a connection request, and you're going to get into a list that's going to look a bit like this. Okay, when you start to get into a list that looks like this, you need to stand out. And you can see here that this person here is just got his title as a full stack developer. You've got Pete here that's got a helping creators to effectively market their audio content, and you got Sarah here who's senior project manager, right? And so when you're trying to stand out to your audience, having something that looks a bit more like Pete, something that speaks to them, right? So they're trying to connect with me, and Pete's saying helping creators to effectively market their audio content. Okay, and I'm thinking, okay, that's exciting. That is exciting. So that is far more interesting than the other two. And so we want you to have a headline that's far more interesting because it shows up when you're trying to connect with people. It also shows up when you're messaging people. So if you're already connected to them and you want to go and send a message out to them, it shows up here. You can see here underneath Janice, it's showing up underneath her name, and she's trying to connect with me. So that's why the headline is a really important piece of real estate. That's why this is the one thing that we look at, and it's okay to tweak and change it based upon the campaigns you're running. So we're doing a campaign into a specific search criteria. So Kevin, you're going out into tech founders in London. So by having a title that was very much focused around that, and when you're messaging and connecting with them, then that gives you a nice target, right? So formula, second bit of work on. So now we know how to do the search. Second bit of work on is this formula, okay? So here's what we should be looking at. So who and how you help and why you should listen. That's the formula, okay? So you can see here, helping coaches and consultants and course creators sprint to $1 million in revenue. And then you can see I use that little line, a little I, to be able to segregate. So that's who and how I help. Who? Coaches, courses, and course creators. How I help, how I help them, sprint to $1 million in revenue, right? So that's what I do. And why they should listen, well, you know, entrepreneur, etc., the apprentice stuff, that's why they should listen. So when you're trying to tailor this for your audience, you want to make sure that you're doing some credibility elements at the back that they would recognize. Okay, let me give you another example here of $1 million sprinter Jez. So he has here, so partner with organizations to create a performance and well-being so they can focus on impacting the world. That's who and how he helps. Why they should listen, former top 250 UK IT leader. That's why they should listen. Okay, so I want you guys to change your headline. So kind of part of homework from today will be changing that headline to be able to have it focused around that search term. So knowing which search term we're going to be going after and knowing that your headline is targeted towards that. That's the game plan, okay? Make sense? Any questions at this stage? I've got it. So we've got John here. Thank you for sharing. So helping business owners take control of their mental health, right? So it's who and how they help, and then why should they listen? We need to get that why we should listen there from that example in the chat. Steve, yes.
Yeah, I'm doing a search on IT managers in either Berkshire or London. I've chosen both. But a lot of the time I'm getting up just a one-man, one-woman bands who call themselves manager. And that's a, you know, I know that then there's not the what I'm after.
So in terms of being able to look at a search term, in terms of industry size, you're going to slightly you can, using Sales Navigator, put in the size of business, right? So it's just, that's an easy criteria. Obviously you've got to pay to play there. Yeah. However, let's think about it a little bit laterally, right? Nobody's going to call themselves a senior IT manager unless there's someone to be senior upon. And so by putting senior plus IT plus manager plus London, that could work. Yeah. And if you wanted to as well, so let me just kind of give you a bit of a feel for another way of working this. You can also, so if we, you could also coach, you can use things like this. So if you wanted to put two words together, you can use these little speech pieces like that. So if I go coach speaker plus UK, it would be speaker coach really, but I can do that search. Now what I've got is I've got speaker coaches in the UK. You can see how now I've got 292 of them, right? And so these will be people that will be speaker coaches, etc. So you could put senior manager in those two inverted commas plus IT plus London. And so you can group those together. It's Bayesian search is what the kind of criteria is, if you like it. Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries, no worries. So what we're going to do, because it's I'm going to take Anna's question, and then we're going to move on to the outreach message. Quick question then from you, Ella.
You know, on the different formats where you can see people's in chat and that, where you can only see a little bit of their strap line.
Yes.
So if you're on like mobile, you can only see a really small bit. Does it matter that you can't read the entire bit? Because I noticed some of those ones that you used as examples were quite long.
Yeah. I think the point being is that you've just try and get the formula working. So who and how you help and why you should listen. The why you should listen bit will tend to be cut off in those smaller pieces, but people want to know that you're the right type of person for them. So the priority is you saying, I help this type of person do this type of thing, and you should listen to me because of this. It's the better way round, because the focus is around them as opposed to you, the credibility piece, right? So just unfortunately, obviously with mobile optimization and all the rest of it, you're always going to have these slight cropping issues, but just it's about kind of using as much as you can and getting the most important piece at the start.
Okay.
Cool. Right, let's jump back in. Okay. So now we're going to get into actually writing out the message, ready for it. So let's write the outreach message. Okay. So this is the template that we want you guys to start to think about and creating your version of it. Okay. So let me just show you what the segments are. Okay. So we're going to be sending out messages to the people that you are currently connected to. Okay. So that low hanging fruit. We're going to be tomorrow looking at how we can go and connect with more people to bring them in and be able to send this message. But for now, we're just going to go out to that low hanging fruit. Okay. So this is the first message. So we're going to talk about, let's be upfront. So you'll be saying, hi, I don't want to take up much of your time, but let me get straight to the point. Right. So that's you just going, hey, you're being upfront. Sometimes it's easier just to kind of lay cards on the table at the start. Right. So that's what that first sentence is about. The second piece is then who and the pain they have, right? So again, it's reiterating that you're speaking to the right niche. We're looking to partner with expert entrepreneurs who are awesome at what they do, but need more clients. So that's my variation, okay? So you could be saying, we're looking to work with people to be able to grow their yoga studio, or we're looking to work with IT managers to be able to help them reduce their cost of infrastructure, whatever it is, right? But you're just being bang up front, and then you're saying who you help them and who and the pain they have, right? And how we solve that pain is your solution, right? We run a lead generation and sales accelerator designed specifically for experts, and we think you'd be a great fit. Cool. So that's the how you solve the pain. And then the final bit is the call to action. I'd love to schedule a call next week so I can show you more. You can see let me just I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat so you guys can do it. Okay, send to everybody. There you go. So it's in the chat now. Okay. So copy and paste that. If anybody's watching this live on Facebook, I'm going to be chucking this into the comment as well there for you. Good. Okay. So let's just come back to you. So the point of this message is, sorry, let me just reshare so I can get it up. Okay, there we go. Let's go back. The whole point of this is it's trying to be upfront. We spend a little bit too much time sometimes flirting on social media, and every now and again it's good to send what we call a straight to the point. And so this campaign is a straight to the point campaign. We want you to write out your headline today, and we want you to write out this outreach message today. And I want you to use this template. Obviously, tweak it, change it, make it appropriate for your industry sector. But if you're a mortgage broker and you've got lots of connections and you haven't asked them, you know, I want to do your next mortgage, then that's something that you've got to go and ask them for. You know, if you're a coach and you haven't asked a set of people to be able to work with you, then it's time to do it. You know, if you don't ask, you don't get. And today is all about asking. So that's the message. That's the thing we want you to take action on. I'm going to take it for questions in a second, but let me just show you that. So I want you to edit it, and then I want you to share your bio link with your new header in the Facebook group. And I want you to write the outreach message and share it in the Facebook group so I can have a look over it and we can collaborate and tweak it and make some changes on there and share that in the Facebook group as well. Cool. So I'm going to put this link. You see this image here? This is going to be an image. So share your bio link and outreach message here in the Facebook group. And then underneath it, just copy and paste your message into it. And I can kind of give you some feedback on the fly into it. Cool. So that's the game plan. That's the message. We're 35 minutes past. So as I said, I wanted to give everybody a little action to do each day. Those are the two for today. And then open it up for questions now. But if you feel like you've got everything you need, then jump off the call and time to actually put some stuff into action. But I'm sticking around for 10, 15 minutes to be able to answer some questions. So looking forward to that. And then I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock if you're diving off straight away. But out into the space. So John, question, your first one, go for it.
Yeah, I can't be the only person who's got this situation. I'm obviously dealing with mental health. So first question is like, how am I searching for these people? Because obviously I'm not going to be able to search for that at all. You kind of covered that a little bit with the burnout earlier on. And then secondly, on the message, I'm not sure I want to be going in there and saying, we're looking to work with people who've got struggling with their mental health. It seems like a bit too forward at that point. So have you got any suggestions around those two areas, please?
I think what you need to do is you need to create some sort of event or create some sort of thing that you're trying to call people to action to. So you could be saying something along the lines of, hey, just we'll get straight to the point. I'm looking to be recommended to people that might want to join me on my XYZ event that talks about mental health and X, Y, and Z. And I would, love you to recommend me to someone, something along those lines, right? So you're not directly saying to them, oi, do you have a problem? Do you want to come and work with me? You're basically saying, I got this thing and I'd love you to recommend anybody you know or share it with people you know.
Yeah, and actually that solves the other problem as well, because if I'm searching for people, I'm looking at chief executives and solicitors and accountants who might have clients who they would recommend. So it would be the same sort of all three. I mean, admittedly, that's three and that's too many people, but I'll just do them all separately. That's cool. Yeah. All right. Love good. It. Thanks.
Cool. No worries. Good stuff. I'm just going to clear one thing up in the chat. So Jane Mallet asked, this is going out in a DM. Is there a limit to how many I can send in a day? Jane, there's actually not, in terms of sending out messages. You would struggle to get probably up to the upper limit. We send about 100 messages a day. I'm going to be showing you how you're going to send out 80 of these a day. Alex came in and said there's 100 connection requests limit per week. That's for connection requests, just to kind of just double check on that one. Whereas DMs, which is what we're doing with this, to your first degree connections, you'll be able to send far more. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at tomorrow is we'll start to send out this message, and we'll probably be sending about 80 of them as an action. So just to kind of clear that one up. Great. Okay, Steve.
Yeah, that answered one of my questions, so thank you for that. But the other one is a very simple one. In the template, you're putting down we are this or we are that. As a one-man band, or if someone was a one-woman band, I also think it's when you put we, most companies know full well if it's only a one-man band. Would you stick to just I do this?
Yeah, I just be whichever one feels authentically right for you. So it's if it feels if it is you, then say that, so just give us an idea of what your business is.
Yeah, well, I tend to work with in the customer experience field. I tend to like to work with taking sales through service, and I believe that everyone in the company should be contributing to profit. Everyone's in sales, everyone's in service, everyone contribute to profit.
Okay. So it's a consultancy So it's you as a consultant going in and doing that work.
Yeah,
for the customer,
consultant
right?
speaking or
Yeah.
training. Yeah.
Okay, well then just say I.
Yep.
I'm
Okay.
looking to work with these type of people. I help them to be able to do this sales consultancy piece. And I'd love to book a call with you next week.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Why not? No worries. Cool. Love it. Gemma, have you
Make
hi
sure
Gemma.
my language is better this time. I am so sorry.
I love it. I love it.
So basically, I run the LinkedIn for a couple that I work with, and they are trying to sell, like, they do retreats, like wellbeing retreats and loving retreats and stuff like that. And obviously, we're just trying to.
Is that Rahini?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, cool.
Obviously, we're trying to get people obviously interested in retreats, but she's asked me to do so where, you know, you do your connection things like you're saying, like you tailor it to the people that you want, and then we do, like, is it the personal invite, and then we send out a message. I think it's only like 300 characters that you can send in the invite. But what I'm struggling with is the message that we do send. If it's too, we don't know how to make our message to tailor to people that we want. I don't know if it's a bit too, what's the word, like forward, if that makes sense. Like,
Okay.
what would you suggest? Because what she writes to what I'm sending, I'm not sure whether that's the right way to be doing things and getting who we need.
Well, you know, by sharing the message in the group, I can give a bit of a critique on it. If you know, what I'd say is that this whole campaign is about being straight to the point.
Yep.
You say, hey, you know, we're looking for these type of people, you know, we're looking for couples to be able to join us at this retreat. And, you know, the couples that get the most out of this are this type of, you know, or are in this position.
Perfect.
Or whatever it is, you know, so something along those lines.
Yes.
You know, and then you could use a little bit like we mentioned with John. You can say that may well be you, or you might know someone that fits that bill. Let us know, you know. So
Perfect,
it could be something along those lines.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll drop it into the chat, and then yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, into the group, not the chat.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
No worries, Gemma. Good to see you. Garrett.
Okay, perfect. I just had a few things quickly that I wanted to ask. The first one was in terms of when you send a connection request, do you find you get a higher acceptance rate when you apply a message with the connection request, or do you leave that blank?
So we'll do connection requests tomorrow, and the answer is yes. We find we get a higher acceptance with it. The message that we're going to look at, there'll be a few varieties, but some of them are around just kind of trying to instantly build a string between you and to stand out from the generic. I'm growing my professional network on LinkedIn. Would you like to connect? You know. So just trying to moving away from that. Just you know, there'll be, you know, you can use a pattern interrupt connection request, which we'll show you, which tends to be something like a little joke just straight off the bat, or you can do a presumed kind of connection, such as, you know, just a friendly coach to coach hello. Thought I'd say, you know, thought I'd just send a message out, something along those lines. So we'll come on to that, but.
Interesting. Yeah, because I never usually use one for the connection request. I don't know what. I almost feel like when someone leaves me a message, like it comes across more salesy than people that leave it blank in a way. So I'll be interested to see the type of messages that you go for. And then the other thing was, in terms of the messages you send, do you want us to include something that's maybe a little bit more personal and specific to the person that we're reaching, or is it about having a message that speaks directly to the market but not directly to the individual, if that makes sense, and having like a mass message?
Yes, so the point of the message that I've just showed you is that it is one message that you're going to pile into that. So those 333 people that I showed you, I'd be sending that message out to those 333 people, and it'd be the same for every single person. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. Okay. So is it best to use kind of an automation software, Spandai or something
No,
along those
I'm going to
lines?
show you how to do all of this manually and rhythmic.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
No
Cheers.
worries, no worries. But I, you know, that I don't want to overload. So the whole point, just remember, change your header and write out your outreach message. Share both in the group, and that then puts us in a great position to be able to then make the most of tomorrow's session.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Sounds good.
Gavin.
Yeah, so my question was around search and searching for potential prospects. Now, I'm aware, obviously, that you've got the paid for Sales Navigator, but is there any way of, I think in the Sales Navigator, you can be a bit more industry specific, but is there any way of being industry specific in the more general search that you get in the free version?
Yeah. Definitely, you know, using Budgie searching 100%. The best reason for, or the most kind of common reason for people to use a Sales Navigator search is actually company size, because that is you know, impossible to do on a free search. Whereas in Sales Nav, you can literally just go 0 to, you know, 10 people, 10 to 15 people, you know, so you can actually just find the banding of the size of the company you want to work with. So that's why you do it. In terms of industry sector, give us an example, and we'll have a little search on it.
Well, I'm looking to connect with people in the food industry.
Easy, yeah. So so what you would do is, so we'd go so you could go food and beverage or something like that. And what you can do is use this kind of thing. So food and beverage. And then you can go, well, plus CEO plus, you know, London. There you go. And it's not going to be as perfect as many criterias. Yeah, there you go. So you can see these are people I'm not connected with, but I've got 1,800 of them there. And, you know, food and beverage, Wilson Hotel. So, you know, you've got pubs and clubs and all that sort of fun stuff there. You know, you can go really specific. You could do health food. You know, you just using these kind of criteria like this. You just got to get a feel for it. And it's never going to be a perfect search the first time. And you know, nothing's perfect first time you do it, but you just get a feel for it. There you go. So I've got 36 people on the health foods in London. Yeah, maybe. So you just got to kind of think about what they would have on their profile. And one of the best tips I can give you is find people that you know are rock solid prospects, maybe even clients that you're working with in that industry sector. Look on their profile and see how they describe their industry. So if they use food and beverage and it is the and's little sign, it's that. If they actually write out food and beverage, then use that way. If they actually just say food, then use that. You know, so you just got to kind of see what people are using as the common industry terms to describe it, and then go and search for that.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. Cool. Well, look, guys, we're coming up to the hour now, so unless anybody's got any further questions, we can close for today. And I will see you guys at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Any final questions before we close? All right. Okay. Well, look, share the links in the Facebook group. That post will go up as soon as I close this meeting. And I look forward to catching up with you guys and having a look at your bios and going through it later on today in the chat. So great to see you and catch you all at 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Brilliant. Thank you, Richard.
Cheers, gang. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.